What up racer, it's Jerone here and welcome back to another league racing video. I think you got the hang of it by now. It's Tuesday evening, so it's time for F1 Racing League, or in short FRL. Today we're here in Portugal, Circuit de Algarve, and hopefully I can perform well today. Now, talking about performance, if you saw the previous video, then you will know I did not perform very well there. I got, well, a little bit unlucky, but most of it was my fault. And I'm hoping to bounce back after, well, quite a string of relatively poor races in this league. And no better track than Portimao for me, because personally I think I'm quite strong around this track. So I think I have a relatively good chance of scoring a good result here today. Now I'll actually let you enjoy the qualifying lap, so I'll come back when the qualifying lap is over. Overall, not a bad lap at all. As you can see, I still have 6.5 minutes left in this session, so it wasn't with optimal track condition, but I was relatively happy with that lap. The hairpin in turn 6 was not great, and I think the final corner could have optimized that a little bit more. Then this was my final shot, decided to completely send it, and basically I immediately invalidated my lap, so the fun was over relatively quickly in that second run on softs. Now, in the end, it was a 16.6, which was good enough for P8. And in AOR, I believe I put in a 1 minute 15.7 or a 15.8, which would have been good enough for pole position, but as you might know by now, I don't practice for this league. Well, I jump on like 20 or 30 minutes before the race, then do a bit of driving, but I don't think you can really consider that as practice. So, overall, I was sort of okay with the lap time I'd managed to put in here. And unfortunately, as always in FRL, we do seem to have a restart, and this time Kazizel had trouble in qualifying with his internet connection and couldn't load here. And Miku was having some problems as well, our host, so unfortunately for me we have to basically do a restart. And why do I say unfortunate? Because I did a really slow in lap and out lap, and only did one lap on those tires, so I was quite confident I basically had my tires as fresh as possible for the race, and now everyone will have the benefit of fresh tires again. Now you can see F1 champ in P9, he forgot to select softs, so he will pit after lap 1 basically. But for now, it's time for 5 red lights here at Portimao, and you can see people are already going 3 wide, 2 wide ahead of me, and immediately Jeroen is round and there's chaos everywhere. Up to P7 at the moment, but then a red arrow on the inside. That's Zach with a bit of a dive bomb, or maybe he misses braking point, not entirely sure. And now for Romeo letting us go. I think that was F1 champ, who also had a good start, but I don't know, probably got some illegal overtakes, and that was one hell of a start. Very hectic, and I'm very glad I managed to get through it all. You can see it here, Jeroen spinning around in his Williams, and Kazizel in front actually also had a spin, so yeah, I'm not entirely sure what all happened here, but I'm relatively glad I managed to get through all of that unscathed. And Zach also had a brilliant start. He's now the first medium runner, but then in lap 2 we have a virtual safety car, and that is for this incident. So Jeroen, after already having been spun round on the first lap, you can see, I think Jeroen had an oversteer moment, let's say, to the left, and Hersey had a moment to the right at the same time. So in the end, Jeroen got rocked out there, smashed into the wall, and just a very unfortunate accident that they both had, well, an oversteer moment at the exact same time. Now you can see here, lap 3, DRS has been activated here, and because of all the chaos at the start, there was, well, quite a sizable gap between me and the top 4, and you can see here, just about managed to get within 1 second at the detection point, which is, well, just before the right-hander we went through. But you can also see I'm already down to 40% ERS, and if you don't know, it's so difficult to save any battery charge around this track. So you have to be very careful when you use it, but I also don't want to lose DRS to FRL Ginger ahead. And unfortunately the pace of these cars was just a little bit too strong for me, and I couldn't keep up that pace, especially considering, well, I just got another warning there, trying to push a bit too hard, and I think this was the moment I realized it was over in terms of trying to keep up with the top 4, with that oversteer moment going up the hill as a result of pushing a little bit too hard. Then unfortunately halfway through lap 7, you can see already picking up a 3-second time penalty, which is not optimal. I felt like that warning was a little bit BS, but then you can see Aston Martin of Henry, it's Thierry Henry, no, I have no idea, off the track, and he rejoined safely. But after a couple of laps I realized there was no way I was going to keep him behind, so I'm gonna pull to the inside, let him take the racing line so we both lose as little time as possible. And as you can see, that is a Mercedes car of Jamie Morris off of the track as well. So quite a couple of people are having some issues here throughout the first stint of the race. Meanwhile, I was actually driving pretty well. Now, Henry was one of the cars in the lead group, of course. He spun, and over the last 2 laps I did manage to keep up, well, just about to keep up with him. I had to use quite a bit of ERS, but I think overall I gained quite a bit of time. And gap in front to Ginger now is only 2 seconds, and behind me to Kyle Scarrett 3 seconds. So I think I was doing relatively well here. I know my pace is strong on the softs, and I'm always good at managing my tire temperatures throughout the race, so I knew this stint was probably going to be my better stint of the 2. It's relatively easy to go soft mediums, and we're actually going to stay on board for my in-lap here. I think this might also be, no, this is not one of the first laps I've led in AOR. I've also led in USA, so that's not true, forget what I just said. But I think you can sort of see that the softs don't really drop off throughout the first stint. You can basically keep putting in sort of equal times to your personal best. Well, personal bests, I say that, of course, this lap is without DRS and without any ERS usage, because if you want to maintain your battery level, you basically have to use 0 ERS at all. Like, you can't press the overtake button a single time on your lap. Now, going uphill with this left-hander, little moment, but nothing major, and I think I extended the gap to Kyle Scarrett a little bit on this lap, and behind Kyle it's Yogurt on a set of mediums. He's now the first medium runner out of the 2 Ferraris, and end of lap 14 it was time for me to make my pit stop. Then coming out, you can see Ginger pitted 1 lap earlier as well as Henry, and they're now, well, after we negotiate the first sector, about 3 seconds ahead of me, and well, there was no realistic option to stay with them anyways. But you can also see Jamie Morris behind now. He was behind Kyle Scarrett before he came into the pit lane, so he definitely did a really well undercut and gained a lot of time on me. Then next lap I already immediately realized he was catching up way too quickly, and just decided to let him go here. But I think I didn't really optimize the line there, so it cost me a little bit too much time. And I'm not even sure, yeah, Ginger just spun there. I kind of forgot about that. Ginger just spun there in turn 1, or I believe he was rocked out by Henry. And Ginger's now also behind us, also on a 3-second time penalty. Then, as you can tell, a couple of laps later, Jamie Morris passed Miku on the previous lap. And this lap it was time for me to go for the overtake on Miku, who is still out on old mediums, as I pick up another track limit warning there. But we go down, Miku's inside, and it's a relatively easy move. While saying that, Miku is actually trying to challenge back for a bit, but we have the inside for this double right-hander, and the inside is key there, of course. So it was necessary to get that overtake done before the middle sector, and well, I did that. Then next lap, caught up to Terror Racer at quite an okay spot. I would have been able to probably fly past with DRS there, but Terror actually decides to come into the pit lane, which is of course also a good idea. Then next lap you can see Arnoud coming into the pit lane, Hersey into the pit lane as well, and we're up to net P4 in this race now. Santeri is leading the race. He was, well, his pace was absolutely lightning throughout this race, so I don't think anybody ever got close enough to basically mount an attack on him. So then it's Henry P2, Jamie P3, myself P4, and Ginger, who's looking to pose a threat on me right now, currently in P4, and he manages to get the overtake done. Make a little bit of contact on the exit. I probably should have backed out a bit more. I thought I was far enough back, but clearly I wasn't, and now it's Ginger and Yogurt going side by side. Yogurt did a really aggressive undercut, pit on I believe lap 16 already, from mediums to softs, or maybe it was 17, but anyways, that is relatively early. Then Ginger going up the double right-hander. He had a double oversteer moment and had to concede the battle with Yogurt, and I managed to slip past as well. So I was pushing here in order to make sure I could stay with Yogurt. As you can see, it's about 9/10 at the DRS detection point. So we're just gonna skip ahead a little bit. DRS is massively powerful. You can close up a lot when you're within DRS on this track. But then this time it's Yogurt going up the double right-hander, and he's nearly losing the backhand as well, and it means I can slip back up to net P4 in this race. Although I do of course have that 3-second time penalty, whereas Yogurt does not have one. Made a little bit of contact there, I believe, in the right-hander, but nothing major. Then going through this left-hander, and I lose control of my car as well. So basically everyone is bottling a little bit in this race so far. And unfortunately I was just outside of DRS range of Kyle Scarrett there. But throughout the rest of the race, Ginger and Yogurt were definitely having a bit of fun. They were fighting a lot, and within a couple of laps time I did manage to catch back up to the train, which was good and also very important, because Zach had been able to catch me as well as Hersey, and they're both on soft tires, which is of course the better tire to be on at this stage of the race, but the advantage will slowly shift towards us medium runners again. But then you can see lap 31, Ginger and Yogurt make contact, and Kyle Scarrett manages to slip through into P4 with Ginger into P5, and you can see the Ferrari has damage, and in fact I can confirm he basically had no front wing left anymore. So he has let us all go, and we're now back up into
what position is
net
symbolics?
P6.
Yeah, so you're gonna be 9.
No, we well, there's your shot, Cal.
Yeah. Fuck, you know.
Oh my god,
Ginger with a very nice roadblock there, as he described it himself, and well, kind of took out Yogurt there. Somehow Ginger did not get any damage from that, which is a miracle in itself, I would say. But Ginger at this stage does already have 6 seconds of time penalty, and he's looking to make a move on Kyle Scarrett again. He goes down the inside in turn 1 and he's up to, well, P4 on track, but that 6-second time penalty will not help him at all. He will drop a lot of positions here. Then we're heading on to the final lap now. Kyle Scarrett taking P4 on track back as they both run wide, and for some reason I also pick up my 6-second time penalty there. So basically I have to try and overtake Ginger to try and get P5 for this race. And actually Ginger ran very wide there, so we're gonna send it down the inside and unfortunately make a bit of contact, try to keep the car stable, and overall that was not my greatest move, I have to say. I didn't overshoot the corner massively. I think it looked worse because I locked up, but I definitely braked also like about, well, I don't know, meter and a half too late. So yeah, that was not great. I think it's always something with me, like in the heat of the moment, some little things just seem to go wrong. And well, let's not forget I've not even been league racing for a full year yet, so I don't expect myself to be like top level when it comes to making overtakes at the crucial moments. So we're still trying to learn here, and you can see coming over the finish line it's P7. Ginger actually, I don't know how he managed to pick up 6 seconds of time penalties on the final lap, but he has 12 seconds now. Bit of a shame I picked up the 6-second time penalty. That was a bit unnecessary, but overall I'm relatively happy with this performance. Managed to stay out of trouble for a long period of the race. Then when I had my little moment in the final sector, that's where things unraveled a little bit. Managed to claw back into the train, and then it was just game over with that sort of move down the inside, which was not my best move. Apologies to Ginger for that one as well.
Ja, kijk, excuus.
I would like to express my and repeat regret and apologies.
If you did enjoy the video, a like would be appreciated, and if you fancy it, you can subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you next week for a new FRL video. Bye bye.